Greene County State Representative opened a new office, and residents' life is dealing with a potential staff shortage next year.
A PA hockey player is in hot water after pushing a wheelchair down a flight of stairs. And Pfizer's new COVID drug is closer to full approval. All this and more right here on WCTV.
And now, your 5 o'clock news on Channel 14.
Welcome back to the newscast. I'm Kaylin Elliott.
And I'm Gwen Napier. Local State Representative Bud Cook has opened a new office here in Greene County. Micah Leith reports.
It's a new day for politics in Waynesburg. Greene County's representative in the State House has opened a new district office. It's off the heels of a race that was very local. Bud Cook, who positions himself as a lifelong resident of rural areas.
There's a lot of people that still don't lock their door. I mean, you know, it's just very secure. It's very neighborly. Everybody knows everybody, and that's lost in today's society.
Doug Mason, a longtime resident of Greene County.
I have been a resident of Greene County for the last 30 years.
Cook won the race by 6,000 votes overall and carried Greene County by 4,000 votes.
That margin of 6,000 votes is greater than any of his predecessor, Pam Snyder's margin of victories in any of her previous contested elections. The closest that she got was in 2012 when she won by 5,000 votes. The reason for Cook's dominance is his performance in Greene County. Cook won by 3,700 votes, and that helped propel him to the seat.
In the Cook versus Mason race for the Legislative District 50, we can now make an important call. Bud Cook will win his re-election campaign.
On the heels of that victory in Greene County, Cook has officially opened a district office in Waynesburg at 1640 East High Street.
We're doing a program that you're going to hear more about. It's called Come Home and Go Big, right here in Greene County in southwestern Pennsylvania. You'll notice that southwestern Pennsylvania actually includes 5 counties. So we're real excited about that. This is our base of operations here in this office.
At the event, Cook highlighted his commitment to the area and looks to expand the local economy.
And it's an opportunity for us to go out and reach out and say, why not here, right in Greene County? We want you to come home and go big and raise your family.
He also wants to continue the broadband expansion project.
We're going to have the best of both worlds. We're going to have the connectivity and at the same time be able to go out your door, over the hill, and fish in a trout stream.
Cook also highlighted the importance of colleges and universities in the area.
In the 50th District, we actually have 2 universities. We have Penn West, California, and then certainly Waynesburg University. They both play a major role in what we want to try to accomplish, bringing and building that team to promote our area. And we're reaching out to both universities.
For WCTV, I'm Michael Leith.
A local fashion shop in Waynesburg has a lot of history. WCTV's Jesse Kane has the story.
Some things never change. But this isn't one of those stories of being stuck in the past. The fashion shop on High Street has seen Greene County through the times.
Thriving through 4 generations, this woman-owned business has been around for a lifetime, over 80 years.
It all started with Fanny Whitlatch, who opened and pursued the dream of a clothing business to connect with the community. Sally Cameron currently owns the shop and works alongside her niece, Rita Thorne.
When people ask how the business got started, my grandmother, which would be her aunt, who was the second generation, she would tell me the story. We have an original rack, and this rack was one of the originals that she started out with, just hanging dresses on when she came back from these jobbers in Pittsburgh. And every week she would go and do that.
Stories through generations keep the shop alive.
It's a little tea stand, and it's a little copper tea stand, and we still have it. We still use it. Yeah. And it was her original rack that she used to have a little rack of dresses that she would bring back every week, and she'd sell those, and then she'd go in and buy more.
The family's been able to adapt and stay in style over 8 decades.
Just keeping up renovations, doing things that refresh you, make you look different, make you look recent and relevant. Technology has added. It's both a blessing and a curse. You can take inventory in a short period of time, but both the cost of technology and just the time you spend on IT.
So stop by the fashion shop to see a friendly face, shop modern styles in the ever-changing fashion realm, and hear priceless stories of how things have changed.
As the end of the school year approaches, Residence Life has to find replacements for the current resident mentors in the campus dorms. This year's search has proved to be a little more challenging. Tim Durkin has more.
Here I am at Wilson Hall, and right next to me are the 5 current RMs, but only one of them is returning for next year. Wilson Hall is in trouble. With only one resident mentor returning, Residence Life needs some new faces to take over the positions. Once I was inside, I talked to Adam Bauer and Bruce Christensen about the issue. Adam, the current second floor RM, spoke about his experiences so far.
So I've been an RA for the past 2 years, 1 year in Martin and 1 year in Williston. Over the time, I've gotten to know a lot of people, build connections with people. Overall, I would say it's a fun experience. You get to learn about new people.
However, they weren't enough to make him stay.
Overall, I would come back, but whenever I was a freshman, I really wanted to get an on-campus house. So I've been waiting for this for quite a while now. So I will be applying to get an on-campus house.
As for Bruce, the RM of the 5th floor, he's the only returning one for the next year.
It's just coming down to the fact that we're looking for male RMs. We need 3 for Martin and 2 more for Wilson at the time. Just trying to find students who are interested in being a part of this leadership role has proved to be pretty difficult.
And here's why he wants to stay.
What made me want to come back is honestly the student body. Being a part of the student body is something that I can never forget.
Hopefully Residence Life will be able to fix this problem in the coming weeks. Reporting for WCTV, I'm Tim Durkin.
On Saturday, March 4th, 3 tall concrete emission stacks at the former Hatfields Ferry Power Station near Masontown, PA, were demolished. According to a media advisory released by First Energy, this comes as a part of the dismantling and removal of the coal-fired power plant that generated electricity for more than 40 years. The power plant employed about 190 people when it closed in 2013. The 2 hyperbolic cooling towers and boiler house are scheduled to be demolished later this year, and demolition work is expected to be complete by early 2024. As of right now, there are no plans for the land that once was the Hatfields Ferry Power Station. First Energy will continue to own the property and maintain it as a grassy area. That's all for campus and local news. When we come back, we'll have news from around the nation.
This is producer Caleb Yager, and you are watching The Buzz.
Welcome back to the newscast live at 5. In Pennsylvania, a college hockey player is facing criticism after a viral security video showed him pushing a woman's empty wheelchair down the stairs of a crowded bar. The Mercyhurst University junior Carson Briere issued a statement apologizing for the incident. Siafa Lewis reports.
The wheelchair was at the top of the stairs because the young lady who owns it, a double amputee, was using the downstairs bathroom in the pre-ADA compliance building. Carson Briere, a member of the Mercyhurst University hockey team, issued this statement. I am deeply sorry for my behavior on Saturday. There is no excuse for my actions, and I will do whatever I can to make up for this serious lack of judgment. Carson's father, Danny, a former Flyers player and their current acting general manager, issued a statement of his own. I was shocked to see Carson's actions in the video that was shared on social media yesterday. They are inexcusable and run completely counter to our family's values on treating people with respect. Carson is very sorry and accepts full responsibility for his behavior. In Center City tonight, folks shared their thoughts.
It's just kind of hurtful, because that's a person that can't help their situation, just an unfortunate circumstance in my opinion.
It's a little disturbing to see something like that. Is just a disrespect to someone who's clearly not capable of doing the same things that he's capable of doing.
CBS News Philadelphia also spoke to the head of security at the bar via phone. This is his lasting takeaway from the incident.
I guess what I'd like everybody to take away from it is it's always a good time to be a decent human being. And when you're not a decent human being, there's eyes watching everywhere. There's consequences to negative actions.
Mercyhurst University issued a lengthy statement acknowledging Carson Breer's wrongdoing, but ending with this. Our Mercy tradition also reminds us that students and all people who make poor choices deserve opportunities to learn, change behaviors, and atone for harmful actions.
The video went viral after the manager of the pub posted it on Twitter. According to Twitter analytics, it now has been seen more than 22 million times. Police say the incident is under investigation.
Advisors for the Food and Drug Administration are meeting Thursday to consider a full approval for Pfizer's Paxlovid. The FDA gave the COVID-19 antiviral emergency use authorization in 2021 for treating mild to moderate illness in high-risk adults. Since then, more than 8 million people have received the drug. Some users had reported a return of symptoms and a positive COVID test after finishing the 5-day course of Paxlovid. But clinical trial data has concluded that there is no clear association with the COVID-19 rebound. Agency experts say Paxlovid is safe and effective treatment. The FDA is expected to complete its review for approval in May.
The White House is supposedly threatening to ban TikTok in the U.S. TikTok acknowledged Wednesday the Biden administration wants the app's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, to spin off their shares of the social media platform. The app currently has more than 100 million U.S. users, and federal officials are concerned that the Chinese government could pressure TikTok into handing over users' personal information. TikTok has been trying to negotiate a deal with the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. The deal could allow TikTok to continue operating in the U.S. despite security and privacy concerns.
It's time to celebrate one of the world's most beloved animals, pandas. That's right, it's National Panda Day. You'll notice we didn't say panda bears because the jury is still out on that one. You might remember learning pandas have more in common with raccoons than bears. But DNA studies are now making a more widely accepted case that pandas are actually true bears. Whatever they are, almost everyone agrees pandas are adorable and worth saving. They are thought to be fewer than 2,000 left in the wild in their native China. Another 100 are alive in zoos around the world. Pandas are generally as sweet as they look. They are not predators and only eat plants. Their white faces and black eyes help them blend into their snowy mountain and temperate forest habitats.
Gamers who play Fortnite can receive refunds for some past purchases they did not want to buy. The Federal Trade Commission announced Tuesday that it has finalized an order requiring Epic Games to pay $245 million to users tricked into making unwanted or unauthorized purchases. Epic says players can get refunds several ways, including a cancel purchase feature for some items and self-service refunds for others. Users can also have their bank reverse unauthorized transactions. And Fortnite says it will only disable accounts if they indicate fraud. The FTC accused Fortnite of using confusing button configurations where players would press a single button and incur unwanted charges. When customers disputed the charges with their credit card companies, the FTC says Epic locked their accounts. The agency also accused the game making of it easy for children to rack up unauthorized charges without their parents' consent. That's all for national news. Up next is Aaron Lang with Business Entertainment, but first we're going to Rebecca Vaughn outside for a quick look at the weather.
Yes, thank you, Gwen. Now, we've had a couple of days of warmer weather here on the campus of Waynesburg University, so much so that the trees on campus, their buds are starting to open up, and they're starting to flower a little bit already. But don't expect this warmer weather to last much longer. Stick around for your newscast live at 5 to see my full weather update later on in the show.
Welcome back to the newscast. I'm Erin Lang, and this is your Business and Entertainment Update. The 95th Annual Academy Awards on Sunday was full of emotion and excitement, even if it lacked the drama and surprises like last year's Slap. Everything Everywhere All at Once swept the major prizes, earning Best Picture and 6 other awards. Stephanie Elam reports.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
The Best Picture winner, living up to its name. Everything was everywhere at the Oscars.
Never give up.
Michelle Yeoh winning Best Actress, making history as the first woman of Asian descent to win.
For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, this is a beacon of hope.
Her co-star, Kiwi Kwan, won Best Supporting Actor.
Mom, I just won an Oscar.
Nearly 4 decades after becoming a child star in Indiana Jones, played, of course, by Harrison Ford. The two with an emotional embrace on the Oscar stage.
My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp. And somehow, I ended up here on Hollywood's biggest stage.
Races that were too close to call before the show included Best Actor.
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser winning Best Actor for The Whale after trading wins all award season with Elvis's Austin Butler. For Fraser, it's a return to Hollywood's A-list.
There was a facility that I didn't appreciate at the time until it stopped. And I just want to say thank you for this acknowledgement.
Jamie Lee Curtis!
Jamie Lee Curtis edged out Angela Bassett for Best Supporting Actress. The one-time Scream Queen who got her start in the horror film Halloween thanked those genre fans for their decades of support.
The thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, we just won an Oscar together!
CNN Films' Navalny won Best Documentary Feature.
I would like to dedicate this award to Navalny, to all political prisoners around the world.
The wife of Russian oppositionist Alexei Navalny speaking directly to her imprisoned husband.
Alexei, I am dreaming the day when you will be free and our country will be free. Stay strong, my love.
Last year's Will Smith slap was not ignored by host Jimmy Kimmel.
If anyone in this theater commits an act of violence at any point during the show, you will be awarded the Oscar for Best Actor.
Kimmel joked, but the Academy did have a crisis team in place. a result of last year's slow response to the slap.
If anything unpredictable or violent happens during the ceremony, just do what you did last year. Nothing.
Another major winner from Sunday night, All Quiet on the Western Front. It took home the award for International Feature Film, Original Score, Cinematography, and Production Design. Credit Suisse, one of Switzerland's top lenders, has been struck with the banking blues. On Wednesday, its stock volume tumbled as much as 30% after its largest shareholder announced it wouldn't increase its funding for the 167-year-old institution. Some of the angst may be fading as Credit Suisse says it will borrow 50 billion Swiss francs, about $54 billion from the Swiss National Bank. Officials there, in a joint statement with the Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority and Credit Suisse, says the problem of, quote, certain banks in the USA do not pose a direct risk of the contagion for the Swiss financial markets. Speaking of banks in the USA, since Silicon Valley Bank collapsed last week, many depositors have been yanking their money out of small banks and putting it in accounts at larger banks, like Wells Fargo and Bank of America. The FDIC only insures up to $250,000 per bank per depositor, regardless of a bank's size. Large banks are generally seen as a safer option, though they have more cash available, and the government is more likely to bail them out if they fail. The impact of the ongoing devastating storms in California could trickle down to prices at your local grocery store. California is the leading agricultural producer in the U.S., and of the state's key growing areas are flooded, delaying harvesting of essential crops. In today's Consumer Watch, Shelley Maloshi has a look at how the disaster is impacting crop production.
A devastating blow to our nation's top crop producer. The recent back-to-back storms hitting California's critical agricultural regions may also impact the U.S. food supply.
The pain is going to be prolonged for many weeks and months. This should have been the beginning of the harvest season.
The relentless rain is flooding crops, evacuating farm worker communities, and delaying the harvest season. California is the golden state of food production. It produces the majority of some specialty crops, like certain fruits and vegetables in the country.
In January's storm events, we had over 15,000 acres that were impacted by flooding and inundation, with over $330 million worth of farm losses.
Ag officials in hard-hit Monterey County say it's unclear when planting schedules will resume, and all the flooded farms and delayed harvests could lead to higher costs for consumers nationwide. That's if supplies tighten and produce distributors turn to Mexico or other regions to make up for shortages and then pass on the added cost to consumers. Ag officials say it's too early to fully assess the damage, but are working to mitigate the long-term impact.
There will be more crop losses as areas that have not experienced flooding now are now experiencing it for the first time.
In Monterey County, the severe weather has forced farm workers out of their homes and left them without jobs.
This community of Pajaro is mostly low-income Latino farm workers, and this is the worst thing that could have happened to them right now.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Shelley Malashi.
Ryan Reynolds is about to have a nice payday. T-Mobile announced Wednesday that it's buying budget wireless provider Mint Mobile in a deal of up to $1.35 billion. Reynolds purchased a minority ownership stake in Mint Mobile in 2019. He will stay on in his creative role with Mint, where he serves as a spokesperson. The acquisition of Mint Mobile's parent, Ciena Corporation, will also include Ultra Mobile, an international calling service, and wireless wholesaler Plum. T-Mobile hopes to boost its prepaid services with the acquisition of Mint Mobile. T-Mobile's CEO says Mint's $15 per month pricing plan will stay in place. That's all for business and entertainment. Up next is Haley Ryan with the latest in Waynesburg sports.
Have you ever been to the Everly Library? If not, you should, because it's great. They have books of all different genres: history, biography, fiction. Try The Evolution of Life, Life of Pi, or Jurassic Park. So what if books aren't your thing? Try movies like Frozen, or TV shows like Lost. Books and DVDs aren't the only thing though. Take a trip to the second floor. Welcome to the Writing Center. These tutors will tell you everything you need to know about writing a paper, and they'll help revise your essays. Now let's head back down. Behold, the Knox Learning Center. Need to print something out 5 minutes before your next class because you procrastinated? No problem. You can also print off pictures of dogs. Because, well, you can. So grab your homework, laptop, and textbook, and study diligently. Bring your lunch too. Actually, you can't. That's illegal. Now you know the Everly Library. Stop by anytime. Seriously, it's open all week.
Welcome back to the newscast. I'm Haley Ryan with your sports update. The baseball and softball teams traveled to Florida and Myrtle Beach respectively to play in invitationals over spring break. The baseball team came away from the Russ Matt Central Invitational with an overall record of 3-3. They now sit at 3-5 on the season. The baseball team is set to take on Pitt Bradford tomorrow in a doubleheader at 1 and 3:30 p.m. The softball team had a successful trip to Myrtle Beach, coming away with a 6-2 record with 4 Mercy Rule shortened games. They were to travel to Penn State Du Bois on Saturday for a doubleheader, but was ultimately canceled. WCTV's Tyler Zeman talks more about what the softball team has been up to.
9 months ago, the last time we saw this Waynesburg University softball team, they were crowned PAC champions. Now, they look to go on their journey to defending that title. In Myrtle Beach, the team went 6-2, playing against some of the upper echelon teams in Division III, showing many that
with what we've seen, right? What I've seen in Myrtle Beach, the poll ranking was not wrong. They are going to be the favorites in the pack.
The trip was definitely not wasted, providing the team with some valuable insight on what they may need to fix heading back home.
Mainly, we were supposed to just figure out what we needed to work on and then come back and really work on what we found we needed to work on.
Sydney Wilson picked up right where she left off, but the sophomore star pitcher has a new companion in the bullpen.
Being able to rely on her, to tell me what I'm doing wrong and her to be able to come to me and ask me questions is really helpful.
The team has an obvious target on its back, and with that, you would think brings added pressure.
There's definitely pressure, but again, I work well under pressure. I'm not really worried about it. When it comes down to it, I'm going to play my game, they're going to play theirs, and the better person comes out on top.
The goal, though, is still the same.
Another PAC championship, hopefully. I want to go all the way. I know Coach Brett wants to go all the way, and I know the whole team wants to go all the way, but for now, just the PAC championship.
This team still has a long journey ahead of them until they can say they rounded the final base on their way down the home stretch. For WCTV, I'm Tyler Zeman.
Ladies lacrosse has started up and the girls carry a 1-3 record overall this season. Yesterday, the girls traveled to Eastern Mennonite where they took on the Royals. The Yellow Jackets dropped the match, losing by a score of 19-9. On Saturday, they host Muskingum at John F. Wiley Stadium starting at 1 p.m. Indoor track and field is wrapping their season up with an outstanding performance from senior Kat Henderson. Henderson traveled to Birmingham, Alabama, where she competed in the NCAA Division III National Indoor Track and Field Championships. She set school records in the 60-meter hurdles and high jump and finished 10th overall out of 20 in the championships. The outdoor track and field team has their first meet of the spring season this Saturday at West Virginia University. The eSport teams had a flurry of matches this week. On Monday, the Woo Black Valorant team lost 2-1 versus Hood this week. The Smash Bros. Ultimate Cruise team, which includes the players Coolseb, Timbo, Dane, D-Wheels, and Tricky Beetle, lost to New Jersey City this past Tuesday by a score of 2-0. Tomorrow, Timbo, D-Wheels, and Dane play their opponents at 8 p.m., as well as a doubleheader for Tricky Beetle at 5 and 6 p.m. The League of Legends took on King's College at 9 p.m. yesterday and ultimately lost. Tonight, the Overwatch 2 squad will challenge against the University of Puerto Rico Maya Guys at 6:30 p.m. To wrap up the esports week, the Rocket League crew will face West Virginia University in an evening match at 7 p.m. That is all I have for you with the sports update. When we come back, we will have Rebecca Vaughn with the weather.
You're watching WCTV, where we aim to bring you the best local coverage of what you care about most. Everything from local businesses to hometown sports and the latest weather. we're keeping up to date with what you need to know about issues that affect our campus and our community. We're telling the stories that matter, celebrating our past, our future, and our potential. So tune in for all the latest buzz right here on WCTV Channel 14, Waynesburg.
Hello and welcome back to the Newscast Live at 5. I'm Rebecca Vaughn here with your extended weather update. Today was unfortunately the last warmer day we'll see for a while. We had a high of 57 at the peak of the day and a low of 27 during the overnight hours. Tomorrow we're looking at an 80% chance of rain sprinkled throughout the day, so keep those umbrellas on you when you're out and about. Tomorrow's high will reach 55 degrees and we're looking at a low of 39 tomorrow night. Saturday is where we're really going to see those temperatures drop with a high of only 40 degrees. Expect cloudy skies for most of the day, but we might see the sun peek out around noon. The low is expected to be down at 26 degrees. On Sunday, our high is a chilly 35 with cloudy skies again. The low throughout the night will be all the way down at 21 degrees Sunday evening. For Monday, our official first day of spring, we're looking at sunny skies throughout the day with a high of 46 and a low of 22. Those sunny skies will stick around for Tuesday as the temperatures head back up. We're looking at a high of 52 and a low of 25 on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have partly cloudy skies with a high of 55 and a low of 29. And on Thursday, a week from today, we're back at where we started with a high of 57 and a low of 33. Expect cloudy skies throughout the day next Thursday. Again, I'm Rebecca Vaughn, and this has been your full weather update.
That concludes this edition of the Newscast. You can watch all our previous episodes on our Waynesburg University YouTube channel, and you can watch us live every Thursday at 5 on our channel 14 or on our YouTube channel. Have a great evening.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.